In my time studying mathematics at a high level, at a degree level, I've realized that I wanted to start learning programming and learning it more in C. I believe that the reason why I want to study C programming is because I did maths for a while and I've gained a different sort of taste for the tools that I use. C programming is a very well respected programming language, and just because I want to learn programming in C doesn't mean I think Rust is bad or Python is bad or R is bad. I think when these languages are used, they're used for a purpose and they're clearly popular for a reason. And with Python's case, it's incredibly simple to use. It's really easy to start programming in it. With R, a lot of statisticians can use the language and they might not want to learn too much about programming, but they just want results from statistics to be shown, almost like a calculator and things like that. The reason why I think as a mathematician I want to learn C programming is because I believe that with mathematics as well as with C, design should be intuitive. There's a reason why an array starts from 0 instead of 1, because every variable points to something. This is something that I think is important in C, is that it might be harder to get a hello world printed out. It might be harder to get a for loop working. It might be harder to start programming because there's pointers, and it might be harder to keep memory safe. But I found that the design is quite intuitive, and because a lot of things are based on C, those things become more intuitive as well. In mathematics, every theorem needs to be proven somehow. In any book, in any set of lecture notes, there are theorems, and those theorems are always shown as to why they are true. Now, it's always important to have those things, have those proofs shown to you, because without them, you don't know really if that theorem is right or not. And the same as in C programming. In Python, when you add two vectors in NumPy, what is really going on there? Especially when you're timesing two vectors in NumPy, what is really going on there? In NumPy, you can go under the hood. I believe in C, it's really interesting because you can go down into assembly and the standard libraries and so on. And a lot of things were based off of first principles in a way. And I think those levels of abstraction are helpful in the sense that while I'm learning C, I'm also improving my skills in assembly. I'm also learning these fundamental tools of Unix. I'm opening doors from Unix. I can see all the new utils. I can understand what grep is doing. I can go to the source code and see that as I learn C more. Mastery takes years and decades. I want to use a programming language that I feel like will survive time. I'm not sure that Rust will survive time. I don't think anyone really knows if Rust is going to survive. It's a great language and very well respected in the programming community, but we're not sure if it might be the same as CoffeeScript, where it was an interesting next big thing, but something just happened in its development that it just didn't become a programming language we know today. And for the time being, most of OpenBSD is written in C. Most of Linux is written in C. Most of GNU, everyone, whenever someone says Linux, they technically refer to GNU/Linux, but anyway, the GNU core utils written in C. So I want to master this programming language, which is very accessible right now, even though there might not be many jobs out there who say, we need a C developer, we need someone who's proficient in C99. I don't see many jobs out there for them, as opposed to, say, JavaScript. But I do think it will be important in the long haul. I'm sure there are jobs out there that you see. In fact, I'm pretty certain of that. With C, although the syntax is quite simple, there is a lot of hand coding that you have to do. You have to do a lot of things to get an input working. It's not just fgets, it's not just scanf. You have to check for end conditions and things like that. And there are such, in Python there's something called dictionaries. In C there isn't such a thing called dictionaries. But to me, that's not that bad of a negative, because to me programmers should program. And I am a programmer. I should take my time to program. I should be okay with writing lots of code myself, having bugs in those codes, fixing those bugs, and things like that. Yeah. Also, mathematics has taught me to think before I code. It's not about writing something down, compiling it, checking the errors, changing the errors, and then recompiling and going on with that. It's not just about how many lines of code you can write. It's about, are you understanding what the code is doing? Is the code sustainable? Is the code readable? Is the code well done? That's not to say that you shouldn't be programming. You should be writing code, and you should be getting into the practice of writing code, and that's the most important thing. But there is also a way of coding. I felt like with Python, when I was coding in Python, I wasn't thinking about what is actually going on there. What am I actually trying to do with this line of code? And I think that's important. And that's what mathematics has taught me. So just a top point on the levels of abstraction. This is GDB, GNU debugging tool, and I've set a breakpoint at hello world. Oh. Yeah, it's not a tool that I fully understand, but it's out there. And this is the hello world code. It's nothing difficult. It's just a hello world. And gcc g hello. Let's see. The G tag does something. Let me check. Debugging options. It's a debugging option. It allows debugging the source. So in the actual code, it runs just the same, but I can GDB A out now, and I can see the code. Here, at the top. So here's the code. Yeah. So that was just something interesting if you haven't thought of that. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. As always, have a great day. Have a great weekend. And be sure to like and subscribe. Can we get this video to 5 likes? And to my 9 subscribers, thank you very much. This channel is what it is because of you guys. And hope to see you in the next video.